Good morning, everyone. We are now resuming our public comment session. Just as a reminder, everyone will have 2 minutes to speak. And at that 2 minutes, I will cut off for the next person to speak. So our next speaker is Ronald Dale Jackson. 2 minutes on the clock, please.
Can you start with the interpreter?
Absolutely.
Hello, my name is Ronald Jackson, and I've been really frustrated with Accessoride. I called them and I requested for a ride and said, hey, please, please do not use, I don't want an Uber Accessoride, because I'm blind and I'm deaf, and they're still stubborn, and they was still, provide an Uber, and I'm here, running around, I'm looking for, no one decides to come and assist me and help me. The driver's just sitting there, just waiting for the client. And I'm looking for where's the ride. I'll ask my friend for help and say, hey, this is my name. I have an Accessoride. Oh, but there's a black car right here. Hey, how's it going? Is the reservation the name on the Ronald Jackson? And the driver's like, yeah. Well, and my friend is like telling him, hey, why don't you get out the car and ask, and the driver's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. He got out the car and then assisted me, but this is an ongoing thing. This is always, the Uber driver does not get out, and I haven't gotten an Accessoride in over like 5 years. All I get is Uber, and I'm frustrated with Uber. Now my next point is, I landed home, and then I'm getting, I'm waiting for an Accessoride, and the car comes and it's like they're driving all the way somewhere else, like the tour of New York City, as you guys were saying, drop off this client, drop off that client, then pick up this one, then drop off that one. And I'm like the last one to get home. It's like 4 hours later, just waiting and waiting. That's a waste of time. Please, I would prefer if I'm landing and you're picking me up, take me straight home, drop me off, and then, pick up. Don't take me for a tour. Third, lastly, I would like to say Accessoride needs to improve, please, for the deaf and blind accessibility and to help provide assistance for all drivers so that they can know, hey, there's a possible person that's blind to get on. Please, so that they have no knowledge of that. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Elizabeth Jane Walker, followed by Rebecca Aaronoff. Yes.
Hello. I want to tell you that I've been calling Accessoride for a long time. And often the writing says on the side of the van that it will pull up and it's Accessoride, but I can't see it. So I call and I'll come in and say, oh, we're here. I'll go down and I'll look for it. But they don't understand that none of the drivers are blind friendly. So they send me all these drivers who cannot understand me, don't understand what's going on, and have no concept of what deaf blind is. And it's very frightening. And I don't mean that like lightly. I mean that it really causes me potentially great harm. So it is up to the MTA to teach people what it means to work with deafblind people. Because I can call and complain till the cows come home, but nothing changes. They ignore me, and that is discrimination. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Rebecca Aaronoff, followed by Neil Warren Adelman.
Should we turn Is the camera at a good place? We ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Rebecca Aaronoff. And I have to tell you about the chronic lateness of Access-a-Ride and how long I have to wait for a single ride. Often I'll get to my appointment and I'm completely late. So please know that a lot of us can't use stairs to even get into the Access-a-Ride. I need a lift. And sometimes people, because I use a walker instead of a wheelchair, they don't think that they think I can handle the stairs, but that's not true. And often the drivers are very rude, they're unkind, and they're like downright mean sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll take down the number, I'll call in a complaint, and I know that I've made many a complaint, and I report the complaints, and I tell the problems what's going on, but I hear nothing back often. I know that there are often cabs that are used that don't have lifts. For example, if it's a kind of vehicle, an SUV, I can't get on into an SUV without a lift. So it's not matching the proper vehicles with the needs of the customers. So thank you for your help. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Neil Warren Adelman, followed by Elita Dupree.
Neil, she's like to give testimony.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Our next speaker is Elita Dupree, followed by Michael Uglu.
Thank you again, Chair Janet Lieber and members.
Hold on one second,
Elita.
please, Elita. Hold on. I can't hear her.
I'm sorry, we don't.
Oh, no, no. Oh, you can hear Alita?
Yeah,
Okay,
because this is-
okay. Alita, you can begin. Thank you.
Thank you again, Chair Janet Lieber and members. Elita Dupree for the record. My pronouns are she and her. It's good to be back with you. I'm going to take a different tack today. So first of all, you can never have enough Grand Central Terminal. It's legendary and stately. It means a lot to me. And I wish Sarah well. I had no idea she was leaving. I really appreciated the work that Sarah did with Omni and a lot of other equity related work, things that are helpful to me. So thank you to you, the board, staff, and Sarah. Sarah, don't be a stranger. I'd love to hear from you
I
again.
want to
I wish you well.
Michael first.
And,
then I'm happy to take care.
I think about experiences. You know, in committee, I talked about technical things such as ADA and power and equipment and fares. And I touch on that. ADA is very, very important for us to continue to do more stations. But I've been considering lately what this system that is the subway means to me. And to think of the words of Jerry Rafferty every day when I get out. I'm not in New York, unfortunately. I'm enjoying the 60-degree weather in California. But to continue to practice the idea of right down the line and think of through the Park Avenue tunnel and into the light, and thinking of that when I go to Grand Central Terminal, the answers await those who ask the questions. So I try to bring you positive energy. As when I heard Jerry Rafferty's Home and Dry, I thought about the R32s, the stainless steel, the fluted sides. So let's focus on looking forward, because the subway and the system is a stately American institution that lives to the idea of being legendary. And I thank you.
Alita, thank you so much for your comment. Our next speaker is Michael Uglu. Our next speaker is Harris Hand.
Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
When I will call to make a new appointment or reservation, I will show them and say, hey, watch out. I cannot bend my left leg. I am deaf and legally blind. Thanks. And I will get a text and I will read it and it will be wrong. It will be, they would change the car service. And I'm like, wait, why? I can't use a car. My leg can't bend. And I'm tall and the car is like really small for me to get in. I'm kind of like getting bothered by this. Like, a woman sitting on this side and I have to sit on, I can't sit on the left, I have to sit on the right side of the vehicle. And the woman would complain and say, oh, all right, I have to move you. And it's just frustrating. My next statement, when I get inside an accessorized vehicle, it's almost like 3 hours. And sometimes I have to use the bathroom, I have to pee, and I'll say, hey, driver, is there a restroom around? The driver's looking at me like, I don't understand his English. Maybe he's a foreign driver, maybe he doesn't really understand English. So I'll have to call the dispatcher, and me and the dispatcher are going back and forth. And then the dispatcher calls the driver, and then the driver has to find an emergency location so that they can get, so I can use the restroom. But my whole concern is, what's the point of this whole 3 hours on the ride? Not to mention I have diabetes, I've had surgery, I have a lot of issues, so I have to use the restroom, So you give me 3 hours to put on a vehicle. I mean, like, what for? You should be at least like maybe a 90-minute, time. And I was screaming like 3 hours for what? Thank you.
Thank you.
Why? Why 3 hours? Why? Why?
Our next speaker is Jacknirenberg, followed by Carmine LaMonaco.
There
Jack?
we go. Here I am. Awesome. Good morning.
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Awesome. I'm Jacknirenberg from Passengers United. Happy 8832. I really hope you're watching this because the subways are becoming more and more dangerous. And I'm sure that you're all aware of the stabbing that occurred at the 137th Street station on the 1 line a few weeks ago. And it's not all these major incidents. I've been witnessing nearly regularly many instances of individuals screaming at passengers, smoking in subway cars, and disturbing other passengers trying to get where they need to go in other ways. And this needs to be towards the center of your focus, and cracking down on station musicians is in no way the way to handle it. Secondly, I want to address something that I mentioned on Monday about the mainline shutdowns. We need shuttle buses on the main line, and the N22 and N24 have been proven to be unreliable over and over again. And you're diverting people to the Hempstead branch, which is being cut by half from half-hourly to hourly service, making it extremely difficult, making the situation so much worse, especially given that the main line is the only branch on the Long Island Railroad that does not receive shuttle buses when it's shut down. And finally, I just wanted to remark about an individual who, at the last 3 Long Island Railroad and Metro North Committee meetings, has been harassing a colleague of mine, slandering him, as well as me and the others in Passengers United. And this is a clear violation of the rules of conduct. I brought this up last month after the committee meeting with the MTA police sergeant, and I'm shocked and I'm appalled that nothing has been done to address this, and that he was allowed to do the exact same thing again on Monday. Everything's on the record. So please address this immediately, as it should have already been done. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Carmine LaMonaco.
I don't see Carmine.
Okay. Moving on. Our next speaker is Imam Rimwawi Doster.
Thank you so much. Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Iman Doster, and I'm the Accessoride Campaign Coordinator and Organizer at New York Lawyers for the Public Interest. I'm also a member of the Accessoride Reform Group, also known as ARD, and I also use Accessoride. 5 years ago, in response to the strong advocacy of the disability rights advocates, the MTA began an on-demand paratransit pilot program, allowing 1,200 paratransit users to book a ride when and wherever they needed. For the first time ever, these riders, including myself, could live their lives the way other New Yorkers do, making travel decisions without having to plan a day in advance and without having to endure the MTA's least reliable service. The per cost ride for on-demand is also far less than the standard Accessoride service. Yet the MTA apparently wants to impose onerous restrictions on the number and the distance of on-demand rides during the next phase of the pilot program because of the potential costs of the program, if extended to all users, would be too high. Notably, in 2019, the program cost about $15 million, which is just 2.4% of Accessoride's budget and less than 0.1% of the New York City's transit's operating system. Is that fair? No. Why do you insist on treating persons with disabilities as second-class citizens? We demand that on-demand be expanded to everyone now. Also, it would be great if you added a full-time Accessoride user to the board who doesn't work for the MTA. That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Hold on, just unmute. Sorry, I muted you.
Our last and final speaker is Naomi Jones.
Andy Pollock's also on the.
Oh,
So-
sorry.
Hello,
Hi.
peace and blessings. Hello to everyone.
You can speak to the camera.
Okay, so speaking to the camera, just want to say diversity is important, not just in disability, but social economical status, age, gender. Oh, you know what civil rights is. I'm not going to waste time, and I see the clock ticking. At the end of the day, we're tired. We've said it time and time again. Please be on notice. We're holding MTA to federal standards at this point. I'm very happy to see my sister here today. I didn't see her last time of my last traumatic thing that even brought me to testify to MTA. I don't like how the board looks because it doesn't look very diverse. It doesn't look like what I do when I travel in my thing, but I'm happy to see you nonetheless. I want to see you more. I can't even maybe hope and think maybe my presence even maybe made that happen a little bit more. But yeah, anyways, it's over. We're not doing those games. What we have done has not worked. So we're trying something new, like federal standards, MTA. This is your notice. Federal standards coming into play. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last and final speaker is Andy Pollock.
Good evening, everyone. This is Andy Pollock speaking for Passengers United. So I like to acknowledge that I got bumped this morning. I signed up at 9:25 on time and thinking I was going to be the first speaker. Nope. Now, if this was a New Jersey Transit Board meeting, I would have been able to speak to Kevin Corbett first. But nope, that's a whole different story. And this isn't the first time this has happened in my organization. So I'm just stating that for the record. Okay, let's talk about 47th Avenue in Queens. And lately on the Q27 and the Q31 between Francis Lewis Boulevard and Utopia Parkway, there's been a lot of potholes lately. And I addressed this to Vicky Palladino's office, the city councilwoman for District 19. They're fully aware of it. And I want to let you guys know at the MTA that those routes may need to be detoured in August because Nicole Garcia, the Queens DOT commissioner, is thinking of closing down the road to finally repave the potholes over. because it's been a very poor experience for riders on the Q27 and Q31 routes dealing with the potholes. And last but not least, to conclude my comments, the rules of decorum lately have been getting violated. There have been speakers who have been slandering other members of the public. Addresses have been getting leaked online, including mine recently. Also, I want to mention that the chairman's been receiving personal attacks, including at his home in Brooklyn. So a lot has got to be changed, because I'm noticing a lot more hostility within the MTA than I've ever seen before. This is becoming a very dangerous and unsafe environment for everybody speaking publicly. So with that, I'm going to conclude my remarks. Thank you all very much. There will be a higher quality audio recording of this comment online. Have a good August recess, and I hope to speak to you all again in the fall.